We have created a series of videos to demonstrate the 4 pillars of Horizon. This is the first video in the series in which we will demonstrate the value and risk management. After logging in and navigating through the menu page, you come to our value network screen. And the reason that Horizon uses a value driver network approach is because all capital decisions are made to generate value while understanding the associated risks of achieving a desired outcome. But it's very difficult for many businesses in capital-intensive industries to identify, capture and analyse value and risk data that would inform better capital allocation decision-making. Horizon assumes that all capital allocation decisions are made through either an economic driver tree or a sustainability driver tree. Horizon calls the sustainability branch license to operate. This approach ensures the decisions are always, one, aligned with the enterprise strategy, objectives and risk profile, two, focused on closing existing performance in the value network, three, data-driven and visible, and four, optimized rigorous scenario sensitivity testing. If we expand the license to operate branch of the value tree, it gives us more value nodes, and you can see that for each value node there is a range of data that exists. This is really important because the key principle of using a value network through which to look at your business is that it highlights a performance gap, and it's that performance gap that helps determine the allocation of capital to those areas of the business that need it most. The performance gap is a measure between the current state of the value node and either the planned or target or future state of that value node. And you can see in this case that care for the environment, although this is dummy data, you can see the value for that particular value node, and in this case the capital that's being allocated to close that particular performance gap. If we expand that a bit into emissions risk, and then further down into dust and noise, at this level of the tree, dust would be measured in something like parts per minute, and noise might be measured in decibels. And it would make that gap for a particular asset or at the enterprise level very visible, and it would then allow conversation to add at different levels of the organisation about whether in fact a priority or not. For every value node, there is the opportunity to edit the information that exists or the attributes that can be assigned to a particular value node, from the way it can be calculated to the priority that is assigned to it by, say, ExCo or the board, all the way down to, is it a particular risk category, financial variances, and in fact object permissions depending on the role of the user. The process of assigning attributes to the value nodes within the value network is critical mechanism to articulate the enterprise strategy, the priorities the objectives and the risk appetite set by Exco board, and is critical to making the optimum capital allocations. All of this data is also able to be visually displayed as part of the portfolio management pillar, which is described in video 3. Another key piece of functionality in Horizon is the scenario builder. This functionality allows us to consider a whole range of internal and external factors and the impact that they have on that work. So it allows us to run a range of scenarios for things like commodity, high and low commodity price, etc., and understand and see visually what it does to the value network, and in particular, closing those particular performance gaps. So you can see that there's a range of attributes that can be, or parameters that can be applied to a particular scenario. Here's one that we've saved earlier. You can see as I scroll there that there's a range of options of what can be used within this particular functionality. So if we run that, and although there's dummy data in the value network, you can see that it does produce a results data table down the bottom, and also the results are able to be visually displayed through various default graphs that we have as part of the portfolio management pillar. So this has been a brief introduction to the value and risk management pillars of Horizon, specifically how Horizon ensures that capital allocation decisions are always aligned with the enterprise strategy, objectives and risk profile, focused on closing existing performance gaps within the value network, are data-driven and highly visible, and are optimized through rigorous scenario and activity testing.